video is very long and I feel like I've said a whole lot. Number 7 is the most important, and I left them for the end because they are really young. So now that the lockdown is gradually easing off, there's going to be a huge influx of people into Canada. I know. Hello, welcome to my channel. It's Kosi here again. Thank you for stopping by today. How are you? If you're a returning subscriber, I hope you've been keeping safe since my last upload or since the last video that you watched. And if you're a new subscriber, we've been waiting for you. Welcome. So good to have you here. Super excited that you've decided to join the community. Do not forget to turn on the notification so that you know when I have a new upload. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the things that I think that you need to do as a newcomer in Canada as soon as you arrive. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is my personal opinion, my personal experience, the things that helped me that I think would also be helpful to you or helpful to someone that you know or helpful to a friend or a family member. And that's why I'm sharing my experience with you today. Are you a newcomer in Canada or are you planning to move to Canada very soon? Are you curious as to what you need to do to settle in quickly? Then this video is for you. Don't go anywhere. I will get into it in a bit. So the first thing I would like to talk to you about that helped me, that I think will be helpful to you, is try and adjust your expectations. Yes, I know that you may have heard so many stories about people that have moved to Canada. Some might be good, some might be bad, some might get you worried, some might get you excited. But really, my own take is that everyone's experience is different. So don't try to judge your own progress with someone else's progress or someone else's story. Really, just have an open mind, because I really think that, you know, it's possible for you to be able to shine. It's possible for you to be able to make significant progress as a newcomer in Canada, regardless of what your story is. So having said that, the first thing you need to do as soon as you arrive in Canada is to sort your social insurance number, your SIN. I hear some people are able to do that at the airport, but I wasn't able to do that at the airport. But I was able to do that like the next day or the following day, and it didn't take so much time. It was like 15 minutes and it was done. And I just needed a means of identification, which for me at that time was my international passport. So make sure you get your social insurance number sorted. Why is the social insurance number so important as soon as you arrive in Canada? Now, Canada has a pretty efficient data management system. So every single thing about you in Canada, from the very first day that you arrive till the last day you decide to leave, or whatever it is that is your case while you live in Canada, everything that you're going to be doing is directly tied to your social insurance number. Like nobody else can have that number apart from you. From banking, your phone, getting a job, your health card, every single thing would require you to provide your social insurance number before they can get it done for you. So you really need to get that done before you start your journey in Canada. Number 2 that I think you need to do is get your health insurance card. It's true that health services in Canada is actually free, but if you're not able to present your health insurance card at the point where you need treatment, I'm not very sure, but I think maybe you might be denied that opportunity, or that process will be delayed because you don't have your health insurance card. I mean, I don't wish bad on anyone, but you never really know what will happen in the next minute. So if you want to be able to take advantage of the free health care system in Canada as soon as you arrive, make sure you get your health insurance card. I mean, I stay in Calgary, Alberta, so I was able to get mine through the Alberta Health Service Center. And as usual, just like the SIN, it doesn't take so long to get that done. But I think that will be mailed to you, so you might not be able to get that right there and then, like your social insurance number. So make sure you do it as quickly as you can, so you can have access to free health care. Another thing you need to do is identify with your health, identify a family doctor. There are so many family doctors that are probably very close to you. What happens is, if you have a health situation that you'd like to receive treatment for, you can't just walk into the hospital like that. You have to go through your family doctor, who will first of all see you and then decide if you should be sent to a hospital or not. So there are several clinics around you. Do a quick research and find out the one that will be more convenient for you to register with. So if anything happens to you, you have quick access to health care. Number 3, your banking. As soon as you arrive, once you have your SIN done, I think it's very important for you to sort your banking. At least that's what I did, because Canada also has an efficient credit card system where everyone actually has a credit card, I think. And what that does for you is that in the future, if you now want to get a loan for a car, for a house, or for whatever reason, they usually have to look through your credit history. So if you don't have a credit history, or if you don't have a credible credit history, if you don't have any of that, then it might be difficult for you to get a loan, I think. So building your credit history as soon as you can, as early as you can, is really important for future financial investments that you might have a need for. And that reason why I think starting your bank as soon as you arrive is very important is because when you get a credit card, I got an advance of 1,500 Canadian dollars. What that meant for me is that I had access to 1,500 Canadian dollars to spend, pending when I was able to change the money that I had at home. So when I was able to now finally change my money back at home to Canadian dollars, then I was able to replace the 1,500 Canadian dollars that I got in credit advance. So yeah, having that soft landing when it comes to your finances is really important before you finally get to sort everything out. And that thing I think is also important when it comes to your finances is getting a reliable Forex agent. So what that means is that when you arrive, you probably still have your money back at home. So I know you can do this through the bank, but I think that finding a reliable Forex agent who can help you change your money to Canadian dollars as soon as you arrive is very important. I mean, to us, it was very important. So what that meant for us is that we were able to get the money quickly, and the exchange rate wasn't so bad as well. If you want to change your money through Western Union or through the bank and all of that, why not? I think you can do that. But I also think that because you need to make sure that your finances are right and are in the right place as soon as you arrive, because you're going to be doing a lot of spending when you arrive, I think it's also important to have that person that can easily change your money back at home and then send you Canadian dollars. Number 4, you need to get a SIM card. While you're going all over the place trying to sort your SIN and do all of that, you need some form of communication. So getting your SIM card is really important as soon as you arrive. I know that many of these mobile network providers actually also have plans that helps you get not only a SIM card but also a phone. But I didn't do that. I was actually using my old phone until a few months later when I changed my phone to another one. Number 5, you need to get apps on your phone. You need technology to settle in Canada. You guys, trust me, I'm not even kidding you. You need several apps on your phone. The first app that you need on your phone, which you probably already have, is Google Maps. Why do you need Google Maps on your phone? Well, the transportation system here is also pretty reliable. So what that means is that if you're trying to move from point A to point B, even at this point, I still use my Google Map. So all you have to do is put in the destination, and Google Maps will give you the different options that are available. If you want to go by train, by bus, if you want to walk, if you want to drive, and to give you the timing. So what that means is that the buses and the trains all have their schedules. So imagine if you're going somewhere that you anticipate to take you 1 hour. If you then miss your train just by 1 minute, it's possible that you won't get another train for another 30 minutes or 45 minutes. So having Google Maps helps you understand when the train is coming and helps you plan your journey according to the schedule. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and in Calgary, Alberta, we also have something called Calgary Transit Map. So what I think that one is also managed by the government. It does about the same thing that Google Map does. So it tells you when the train is coming, it tells you when the bus is coming, so that you can plan your journey according to the schedule. If you're coming to Calgary, Alberta, you might also want to try that. Number 3 app that you need on your phone is any app that can give you a weather forecast. Guys, don't sleep on this one. I'm telling you based on the experience. What I actually do is every weekend I look through the app to know what the weather forecast for the following week would be. So what that does for me is it helps me decide what I'm going to wear during that week. It helps me decide where I'm going to that week as well. So what I mean is this: for instance, if it's going to be so cold this week, I know for sure that my outdoor activities have to be reduced, visitation have to be reduced, everything I'm going to be doing has to be like indoor kind of stuff, because you don't want to be out there in the cold except it's really necessary. And if I know it's going to be sunny and bright, then I can plan around having more outdoor activities. You see why you need a weather forecast app? And that thing that the weather forecast also helps me with is what to wear. So the way I normally dress up is I start planning from my shoes. If I decide the shoe I'm going to wear, then I'll be able to decide what I'm going to wear, like my pants or my shirt, or is it going to be a dress the shoe is actually very important in deciding what my entire outfit is going to be. So you don't want to plan around wearing nice sneakers that week only for you to go out and realize that it's snowing, and then you have to go back and change, and then when you change you realize that you have to change your dress because your dress doesn't go well with the shoes that you're not wearing. You don't want any of those back and forth. So make sure that you have a good app that can tell you what the weather forecast for the week is going to be. Trust me, you need this. Number 6 is hydration. Guys, I'm not even kidding you. It's really dry here that you won't even realize that you're dehydrated until you are really dehydrated. So every person that I know has a bottle with them at all times. I'm not even joking. Like in the car, in the office, in the bag, wherever you're going, you would always see people with a bottle of water because it's very dry here. And if you don't keep replenishing the moisture that you are losing, you will get dehydrated. I'm living by example. So guys, don't sleep on it. Make sure you always have supply of water with you at all times when you arrive in Canada. And that thing you need is lip balm. I have like a bowl full of lip balm. So if I turn to the left, if I turn to the right, there's lip balm all around me, in my bag, in the office, by the bed, because not only do you get very thirsty when you get dehydrated, I also realize that my lips become so dry and start cracking. I always have to make sure that my lips are moisturized at all times. Guys, don't joke with hydration here. Number 7 is the most important: clothes. As soon as you arrive, you need to start worrying about clothes, because whatever you were wearing back in your home country might not necessarily work for you here in Canada. And here is why. Canada is one of the coldest countries in the world, so your clothing is the only thing that you can rely on to shield you from the very harsh weather. I arrived in like September. The winter started in like October, so it got very cold. So there are 2 essentials that you need when you start shopping. A very good jacket. Guys, don't compromise on quality. Make sure you get a very good jacket, because year in year out there's going to be winter. I need a pair of very good boots with nice grip. There's something called black ice. Like when it snows and the snow freezes, it now becomes so slippery on the ground. I know a couple of people that actually broke an arm or broke a leg because they slipped and they fell on black ice. So make sure your shoes, even shoes with very good grip, if you're not careful, you can also still slip. You can imagine when your shoes doesn't even have any grip at all. Guys, the struggle is real. You don't want to be in that position. So make sure you have very good pair of boots and very good jacket. Now, the trick that I wish I knew is that as soon as you arrive, don't be in a haste to spend a whole lot of money buying these things. And here is why. When I first arrived, I realized I was going in and out of the store every 2 weeks. Like I might buy one jacket thinking this is it, I'm good to go. And I realized that this jacket doesn't really work for me, maybe because of my style or maybe because of the weather. It was just a struggle finding what works well for the weather and what also looks good on me and what also fits my style. I know some of you will say style is not really important, but trust me, when I don't look good, I don't feel good, right? So I try to make sure that the jacket and everything that I was buying was still a little bit fashionable, so when I wear them I don't feel so, you know what I mean? What I realized is that buying these things from the thrift store first and then finding out what works for you, because there are so many thrift stores here. They're like Goodwill stores where people bring in things that they have used that are still in good condition, and you can buy them for giveaway prices. So taking advantage of that and buying some things from the thrift store as soon as you arrive, to just be sure what works for you first, and if it doesn't work for you, at least it's not so expensive, you won't feel so bad. But I just feel like it's better to just buy from the thrift store until you understand what works for you before you start investing a whole lot of money in good jackets and good boots. So after buying a good jacket and good pair of boots, other things that you need to now start buying, things like hats or earmuffs, because when the winter comes, the easiest place to get cold through is your ears, your fingertips and your toes, and of course your chest. So you need to make sure that you have nice scarves, you have nice hats or earmuffs. Make sure you have mittens, and make sure you have very thick socks, and make sure you also invest in things like thermals that you could wear under your clothing, and then when you're about to step out, also invest in a lot of sweaters, because even indoors you still need sweaters. So one thing I also learned late is that I wasn't really keen on wearing mittens all the time. So sometimes I go out and my hands are exposed. My sister then drew my attention to the fact that my hands were now looking so different from my face, like, and the other parts of my body, my hands were now so dry and so dark. And then I realized that it was because I wasn't really using mittens. You know, when I step out, I was always, you know, filming freestyle. But since I realized that, I started using mittens, and it's a lot better now. Yeah, so you really need to make sure that you have your clothes properly sorted so that you don't get frustrated by the very cold weather here in Canada. Number 7 you need to worry about is sunglasses. I know it's weird that I just finished talking about cold and then I'm telling you to buy sunglasses, but guys, trust me, you need very good sunglasses. I don't know if it's because where I stay we don't really have so many high-rise buildings, but I realized that when I'm stepping out, especially in the morning, because when we're still going to work, I used to go to work about the same time when the sun rises, and then I just realized that when you're driving or when you're walking, the sun is right in your face, like it's blinding you right in your face, and if you're not careful you might actually miss your turn, or you might cause havoc on the road when you're driving because you don't have sun shades. So I don't know, I feel like it's also because in Alberta we are surrounded by so many mountains, so sometimes the angle of elevation is like this, so you're driving and it's really low and then the sun is coming. Guys, I don't know what it is, but trust me, you need very good sunglasses, whether it's winter, whether it's summer, whether it's spring. Having very good sunglasses, especially when you're driving, is an essential. Number 9, mobility. So I don't know what the situation with your own journey would be, but if you decide to get your car as soon as you arrive, all well and good, because trust me, having a car is an essential, to be honest. If you decide that you're not ready to get a car, you just want to keep using the bus until you're ready to get a car, I think it's very important to make sure that you get your bus pass. There's so many options for the bus pass here in Calgary. We have the booklet that has like 20 leaves of bus passes on it, so you can rip one of the bus pass, present it to the driver, who will then give you a transfer ticket that will take you to wherever you're going to for the next 1 hour. Or you can buy a bus pass that is a daily pass, like it allows you to go anywhere you want to go to all through the day, whether bus or train. Or you can decide to buy the monthly pass that allows you to go everywhere you want to go to, whether bus or train, for the whole month. So those are the several options that we have for the bus pass. If you want to get a car, the options that I think are available is Facebook Marketplace. When I was back at home, I didn't have access to Facebook Marketplace, but I realized that as soon as I arrived, a few weeks after I arrived, for some reason, I think my Facebook app updated and then I had access to Facebook Marketplace. So if you don't have access to Facebook Marketplace right now, don't worry. As soon as you arrive, you have access to Facebook Marketplace. And everything that you need, literally everything that you need to settle in as a newcomer in Canada, I can actually say that you can get them on Facebook Marketplace. Furnishing your house, getting a car, getting a house, almost everything that you need, you actually find on Facebook Marketplace. Is pretty useful for newcomers. You can also check on Kijiji. You might be able to find nicely used cars on Kijiji. Or there's something that they also do here called the auction. I don't know much about that, but that's how we are able to get our car. So the highest bidder gets the car, and they do it like once or twice in a week. Yeah, that's also an option for you to be able to get a car as soon as you arrive. And that thing I'll talk about when it comes to mobility when you arrive in Canada is it's very important to come with your driving license from home. If you have that, fantastic, because it gives you access to drive for about 90 days as soon as you arrive. That's like 3 months after your arrival, and the government expects that within those 3 months you at least have your own driving license, or you now understand the driving system in Canada. But whatever the case is, if you're able to get your driving license from home, please come with it. And if you're not able to, then that's fine. You can start processing your driving license. For me, I arrived in like September, and the next month it was already winter, it was already snowing, and it was already cold. So I was in a haste to get my driving license because I did not want to do my driving tests when it was snowing. Like, I felt it was double trouble. Hey, double trouble. So like, what I mean is I'm still learning how to drive in Canada, and then I have to worry about driving in the snow, and all of that stuff for me was just too complicated. I wanted to have it done before the winter really begins. And trust me guys, my driving test was an experience. That's another episode on its own. I will do another video to talk to you about my driving test experience, guys. It was really tough, but I finally did it anyway, and I finally have my license. So another reason why I was in a haste to do my driving test was because my driving license for me at the time was the only means of identification I had that had a photo ID. So their driving license comes with a photo ID, and sometimes you go somewhere and you need a photo ID as a means of identification. I wanted an alternative means of identification that was not my PR card, and my driving license was it for me. That's why I really wanted to get my driving license as soon as I arrived, and I did it after all the hurdles. I'll talk to you guys about that later. Number 10 on my list is housing. So when you arrive, of course, you're going to worry about accommodation, where to stay. There are several platforms that you can access to find places to stay. You guessed right, Facebook Marketplace. So you can check out Facebook Marketplace for places, and then you go and inspect, and if you like it, you pay. Don't worry, it's safe and it's secure. You can also check on Kijiji for places that you can stay, and you can also check on Rent Faster. Rent Faster is an app, or you can also check on the web. They have a web form for places to stay, and then you go, you do your inspection, and then you pay, and then you move into your new home. These last 2 points I'm about to talk to you about are really, really important. Trust me. Point 11, your resume. As soon as you arrive in Canada, the first thing that you're worrying about is to get a job. I mean, you didn't leave wherever you are to come to Canada to not succeed, right? So every one of us actually want to succeed. We are worried about our future, and that's why we have moved to Canada. So you want to make sure that your A game is on as soon as you arrive. So the first thing you need to do is your resume. The format of resume here in Canada is actually different from what we are used to back at home. So you need to make sure that your resume is on point as soon as you start applying for jobs. I'll probably do another episode where I talk about my experience with job hunting and how I was able to get my job. But yes, your resume is very important. If you can follow me on LinkedIn, please do. I do my best to share resume tips every week because my job is related to recruiting. So I look at resumes, I do interviews. So based on my own experience here in Canada, I share tips that I think is helpful to people who are still job hunting. But anyway, making sure that your resume is on point is really important as soon as you arrive. Point number 12, which is the last point for today, is support. Moving from your country to another country as an adult is a big life change that sometimes can be overwhelming. So you really do need support, which is why if you can land somewhere where you have at least one family or one friend, good for you. But if for some reason you don't have a family or a friend where you have landed, please identify newcomer centers close to you that you can associate with. Newcomer centers can help you with all of the things that I've spoken about already. So make sure you identify a newcomer center closest to you, and please take advantage of the services. We also met other newcomers like us that had similar struggles with us, so we kind of just bonded over that, shared our experiences with each other, and kind of still support each other up to now. So make sure you identify a newcomer center closest to you, because trust me, when it gets very tough, you need the support for your mental energy to just keep pushing and all of that stuff. Yeah, so you really need to do that, those two things. This video is very long and I feel like I've said a whole lot. This is just me sharing my experiences with you because I really want you to succeed as a newcomer in Canada, and I want the journey to be smooth as possible. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If there's anything that I have said that you like, do not forget to thumbs up, like the video. Do not forget to share with friends, with family members that you think might need this information. If you do not need the information, or even if you need the information, there's love in sharing. Make sure you share with other people, and subscribe as well so that you know when I have a new upload. Help me build a community, and I totally enjoy building content for you. So make sure you subscribe to help me build this community. Ask your friends to subscribe, people that you think will need this kind of content. And above all, if you have any idea that you would like me to talk about, to research on, film, do not forget to leave your comments below, or reach out to me in any other way you think you can reach out to me. I'm going to be filming another video where I'm going to be talking about the things that you need to do before you arrive. So make sure you look out for that video when I upload it, and watch it as well. If you have watched this video up to this point, you are the real MVP, and I really do appreciate the time that you have spent with me here today. Till my next video, take care of yourself and please stay safe, and I wish you all the best in your Canada journey. Bye. and we have to peace out.